Staying with this story now, as Fort Hare University's centenary celebrations continue to gain steam, scores of first-year students fresh from high school have expressed pride at being part of the institution's prestigious milestone and have vowed to keep up its proud legacy. Some are following in the footsteps of parents and other relatives who were graduates of this university, while others are the first in their families, all gunning to earn the gold stripes on that black blazer and wear it with pride. Unathi Bingqose joins us on the line. For more, Unathi, very exciting times in the Eastern Cape. What is in store for the centenary celebrations?
Indeed, it is very exciting times, particularly for Fort Hare University, especially at their main campus in Alice. All things are happening there. Yesterday, on the 3rd of February, we saw students from this university ganging up and coming together to clean up the university. You remember that it was one of those that were battered and bruised by the Fees Must Fall campaign last year. We saw a lot of vandalism taking place in that institution. However, we noticed that they did come to their senses, the students that is, and they did a bit of a clean-up at that institution. That was just one of the incidents of the things that have been lined up to celebrate this centenary. Of course, the bulk of this week has been focused on registration, but we do expect that things will pick up a bit next week. We understand that the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Dr. Mbuzo Tom, is expected to address first-year students. It's going to be more like an orientation for them, but of course with a bit of history of this institution, and just to get them on gear and understand the significance of this year, particularly to the institution. But the big day, of course, the centenary celebrations, they are penciled down for the 8th of February, which is exactly the day in which this institution was formed some 100 years ago. And we do expect that Ubabu Shenge, Chief Mangosuthu Buthelezi, is expected to be the main speaker, along with Eastern Cape Premier Paulo Swale. We do expect that a lot of alumni from the university will be part of that event, and we are told that some head of states will be there. But of course, one of them is Robert Mugabe, who we know is the head of state and has studied at this institution. But we are told that the big event will be conducted by President Jacob Zuma, and the date for that big event is expected to be announced on the 8th of February, that is.
Unathi, look, we have to mention that these come at a time when institutions have been experiencing protests from students and workers. Are these protest actions not going to dampen the celebratory spirit now?
Thankfully, down here in the Eastern Cape, particularly at Fort Hare University, we haven't seen any such incidents. I mean, I've been listening to my colleague from Pretoria painting a very, very bleak picture of what is happening up there. But thankfully, this side, we haven't seen much of those, particularly at Fort Hare University. Of course, down at Walter Sisulu University, one campus has been affected by these actions. But of course, they were related to the issue of registration and accessibility for learners. But we do expect that things will go on smoothly, particularly here at Fort Hare University, and we did get a buy-in from the learners, from the students, that is, saying that they will support every effort to celebrate the milestone of Fort Hare University. Of course, earlier last week, we saw Eastern Cape Premier coming together with vice-chancellors of all the 4 institutions of higher education here in the Eastern Cape, and they did make some major announcements relating to the issue of fees, and even there, the students seem to be on par with everyone else, and they had vowed to ensure that we won't see protests, at least not as violent as the ones that we saw towards the end of last year. So we are expecting that for these centenary celebrations at Fort Hare, students, as they had promised, and they will continue to respect that and ensure that everything is going smoothly. In terms of registration, we are told that first years at Fort Hare University, about 80% of them have completed their registration, and moving over to next week, we'll see those who've been part of this institution before, including the postgrads, and getting their chance to register. And by Tuesday next week, everything will be done, particularly for the first year.
That's Unathi Bingqose, SABC reporter, live to us from the Eastern Cape.